You're watching the 2026 Shriners Children's Hospital Clearwater Invitational. Boy, that looks nice. Just down the road from the Eddie Seymour Softball Complex, America's favorite beaches. Another top 20 showdown in this loaded field featuring 10 top 25 teams. We've got Duke and Texas A&M here on Field 9. 40 games in 4 days, the 7th year of this elite tournament, which this year might have the best field we've ever had. 15 combined national titles, 22 players on the Player of the Year watch list. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher, the former All-American, Amanda Scarborough with you. And Amanda, this is an opportunity for a Texas A&M team that we just saw to start off on a better foot. They trailed by as many as 6 in their first game against Oklahoma State. Lost that game against a Duke team that is yet to play this weekend.
Yeah, you know, Oklahoma State had played 2 games yesterday, and you could tell that they were comfortable. They were used to this field. They were ready to go early in the game, and A&M had a much slower start. I don't think they had woken up yet getting off the bus, but they really started to get things going offensively. So seeing if they can take that offensive momentum into this game against Duke, who is playing their first game of the tourney.
Let's take a look at today's Impact Players, brought to you by Visit St. Pete Clearwater.
Mina Vega, so good defensively, right at the top of the order for Duke. She is a senior that has a lot of eyes on her from her experience playing at Duke in the ACC. She's a tremendous ball player. And then Maya Perez on the other side, the home run hitter, earlier today had a 3-run home run against Oklahoma State. That was an important swing to get A&M back into the game, but they did end up losing by 1.
Some change to Texas A&M's rotation in the circle this year. No Emily Kennedy. Much more of a staff effort. Sydney Lessentine, the sophomore from New Mexico, will get the start against Duke.
Really good moments last season as a freshman. Got great experience and really had just some dominant shutdown moments for A&M and the experience that she had as a freshman pitching behind Emily Kennedy. Probably going to take on a bigger role this year with the graduation of Kennedy. Her and Sydney Peters and the rest of this A&M pitching staff all going to get in on the action.
Deanna Jennings will lead it off for the Duke Blue Devils, who have won 4 games in a row after dropping their season opener against Boston University. A little bit of an eyebrow raiser, despite Boston being a sneaky good mid-major. Marissa Young told us got a good mix of new players and returners. They do return a handful of starters from last year's team, which won 41 games, but 10 new players. Again, Amanda, like we talked about, there's so many teams, not only across the country, but in this field, that feels like their roster's 50-50. Returners and new players. Jennings, one of those returners, takes a hack at the first pitch.
Wrote that down so many times. About 50% returners, 50% newcomers, whether it be freshmen, transfer mix. Seeing it a lot.
Jennings, a team captain, preseason All-ACC recipient, somebody that has started in center field 4 years in a row.
A close pitch there with 2 strikes.
Free passes were an issue for Texas A&M in their loss to Oklahoma State. Gave up 5 first-inning runs, walked the first 2 batters, hit the third to load the bases with nobody out to start that game against the Cowgirls.
5 base on balls and 3 hit by pitch free passes given up by the A&M pitching staff. A lot of really solid seniors on this Duke team. We pointed out Mina Vega is one of the impact players on their team, but Jennings being another one of those senior leaders. Jennings and Vega at the top. Jennings had 10 hits opening weekend, scored 6 runs. Big strikeout there for Sydney Lessentine, who got ahead pretty quickly with that rise ball. Her ball is spinning well and moving well. Throw with good velocity, mid to upper 60s. Going to have a rise ball, curveball, changeup mix. But what you're going to see from her is if they're getting on that rise ball, she can go to a drop ball that she's really developed and using more this season. Something that makes her tougher to go up against, because if you're splitting the plane vertically, like able to go up in the zone with your rise and down in the zone with a drop, it makes it that much tougher as a hitter to hit.
1-0 to Amina Vega, another senior, and on the watch list for USA Softball Player of the Year. We talked about Emily Kennedy, of course, moving on to graduation for Texas A&M. Threw 141 innings last year. Second most on the team was Sydney Lessentine's 66 innings as a freshman.
I don't know where that pitch missed right there. I feel like we've seen some tight strike zones in Clearwater this weekend. Maybe another reason why there were several walks, I don't know, but that looked like a pitch is exactly where it needs to be. Doesn't get the call. Great take by Vega.
Well, if Duke watched any of the first game on this field, they know plate discipline will be a key against Texas A&M pitching. It's how Oklahoma State jumped out to an early lead. And Vega draws a 1-out walk.
Well, it was something opening weekend that the A&M pitching staff did such a good job of. They struck out 47 in the 5 games that they played and only walked 2.
Marissa Young ushered this program into its existence 9 years ago. All they've done is win. Been to the NCAA tournament 5 years in a row, coming off their 4th straight season hosting a regional. But it didn't end the way they thought it was going to end last year, Amanda. Upset in the Durham Regional. And you mentioned all the seniors that Marissa brings back this year. She said with that disappointment, everyone came back hungry to be a better version of themselves.
And they really felt like they came up short last season after making their first Women's College World Series appearance. Kind of left a bad taste in their mouth, and they just felt really hungry to do things better this year.
Really kind of mirrored Texas A&M's end of their season last year. A&M, remember, was the #1 overall seed. Lost to Liberty in the regional final. Did not make it to Supers. First #1 seed ever not to get out of the regional. Well, both teams coming into this 2026 campaign, and particularly Clearwater, with a chip on their shoulder, which is maybe a little funny to say for 2 top 20 teams, but it feels that way for these 2 programs.
You know, there are a lot of I think that you can just see the parity in our sport. There are a lot of programs that had quote-unquote disappointing ends to their season last year. We talked about that with LSU. We talked about that with Oklahoma State. We talked about it with A&M and now Duke. And it just, I think, goes to show the parity in our sport, and it's what makes the postseason so exciting. And you know, so many people love to watch. I mean, we had the most watched Women's College World Series in history last year, and it's because people start watching now. They see teams beating up on each other. They start watching here at the Clearwater Invitational, and they're along for the ride the rest of the season, and they want to see how it all pans out. Remember, Matt, too, Oklahoma had won 4 straight national championships, and then Texas ended that streak by winning their first national championship. It was Texas Tech that knocked Oklahoma out, but Texas beat Texas Tech for the Natty. That's also always another big story, is how good Oklahoma is going to be.
Tyrena Jones in the center. Called on the run by Kelsey Mathis. Making the game to start in center field. 2 down.
And you just have to, not to go on a little Oklahoma turn here, but you just have to give them a lot of credit for what Patty Gasso has been able to do with that program, because we did talk about disappointing season after disappointing season with these programs, and she's made winning look kind of easy in the past 5 years. So we got back from the shortened 2020 season, it seems like.
Did it last year, too, with a boatload of freshmen. Meanwhile, for Duke, thrilled to have Jess Oakland in the lineup. Today, she makes her Duke debut despite transferring in last offseason from Minnesota. It was a mid-year transfer, had to sit out the 2025 spring, and was just recently cleared to return to play after sustaining an injury in fall. But boy, is she a big piece to Duke's incoming class, a former Big Ten Player of the Year in 2024. Down in the count, 1-2 to Sydney Lessentine. Runner goes, throw down from Sawney is not on the line. Vega in scoring position with a stolen bag.
Some really good athleticism on this team. Maddie Sawney, who threw out an Oklahoma State base runner, trying to steal second against her last game, showed off her arm, and Duke says, all right, we're going to try to give it a try against the freshman early in this one.
Handcuffed, but Oakland handles it into left field. That will score Vega from second base. And now how big was that stolen bag to get into position to make it a one-run lead for Duke?
First at bat in a Duke softball uniform because of the fact that she had to sit out last season, did not get to play opening weekend, and gets herself an RBI in her first at bat. Jess Oakland is going to be a weapon in this Duke offense.
Passes the bat to Jayla Stafford. It's a cut on the first pitch.
It's again that free pass that comes around to score that just is really kicking A&M right now, in the sense that they gave up 5 runs in the first inning against Oklahoma State. Now a run here in the first.
Swag chain back out in full force. Where do you get that? Is that homemade, do you think?
I don't recall seeing those in the past at this tournament either.
Fly ball drifting back into left field. Allen makes the catch at the tip of the warning track to end the inning. Duke leads it 1-0 on an RBI single by Jess Oakland, making her Duke debut today. Invitational. One of the best places to be in mid-February. An elite field this year, maybe the best we've ever had in the 7th annual tournament. Duke with a 1-run lead, and Mallory Wheeler, the sophomore from Jensen Beach, gets the start today for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, transfer from Louisiana, throws with good velocity. Has had 1 game started so far in the season. It's still so early. I feel like we start out just so hot with this tournament and such big matchups. It feels like we've been playing for a while, but have to remind ourselves it's only the 2nd weekend of season. We got to walk before we can run. Just try not to get too excited with this great tournament that we have so early.
Well, Texas A&M's offense came alive in the 3rd inning earlier today against Oklahoma State. Played at 5 runs. This is a lineup led by Kennedy Powell at the top, Amanda, that has the ability to score runs in bunches. Makes this season really exciting for Tricia Ford.
It's a very different looking offensive lineup with Kennedy Powell. We're used to seeing her at the top from last season. Remember, she had transferred from UCLA a couple of years ago. And Maya Perez was a mainstay in KK Dement. And then outside of that, you have a lot of new faces, a lot of transfers that going to make an impact in this offense.
Wow, that caught a piece of Powell, and she will head up to first.
So Mallory Wheeler, her curve and her screwball are going to be her go-to pitches, so more of an east and west type pitcher, and then she can also work in that changeup that she feels very comfortable.
Kowalewski, fly ball into the gap in left center. Deanna Jennings with excellent range, tracks it and does not have enough for the double up at second base. Kennedy Powell really testing the arm strength of Jennings on that tag.
You're testing her because she's one of the best center fielders in the country. Deanna Jennings can cover so much ground out there in center field. She just is a true athlete, great arm. Look at her get her left hand in just before the tag is applied. So snuck in her left hand right there, and actually it seemed like kind of like her right hand kind of got caught, right? To where it wasn't able to get to the bag, and her left hand was able to sneak in, but a great throw by Jennings. Not even in a great position to get everything on that throw, throwing off of her back foot, but that throw was on the money, and they couldn't believe that they didn't get the out at second.
In steps Maya Perez. No longer a youngster, now one of the exciting stars in the SEC. Has been a tremendous weapon in the middle of this Aggies lineup over the last season and a half. Already saw her go yard once today against Oklahoma State. A 3-run bomb in that third inning in which the Aggies put up 5 runs. Rolls this to second. Vega charges. 2 down as Powell moves up to third.
It's a big out to get, it's a good productive out for A&M to advance the runner to third base. But when you have Maya Perez up, you're expecting that RBI production with the runner in scoring position. So a big out for Duke to be able to get her out with nobody scoring.
Two down and a tying run at third for the Oklahoma State transfer, Michaela Wark.
You can tell that Mallory Wheeler really pops the glove, pitches with good velocity, good kind of bouncy energy in the circle. Trying to paint that outside corner against a home run hitter in Wark, who's given her a lot of room on the inner half to work with. She's well off the plate. And so Wheeler's going to go to that curveball away from her and challenge her to be able to get to that outside pitch. But Michaela Wark is set up well off the plate. Great view there of it. And Duke really utilized their full pitching staff too opening weekend. Everybody got a starter on their staff. Cassidy Curd, who's their senior, their lefty, their ace. She got 2 starts.
Big strikeout to close the door on the game-tying bid with 2 outs for Texas A&M.
Look at this pitch location. Moves a little bit down, moves a little bit away. Mallory Wheeler striking out the home run hitter in Michaela Wark to end the inning.
Reigning Big Ten Pitcher of the Year.
Tennessee hungry for some runs. You saw that Tennessee player kind of doing that to her belly. And Tennessee is going to be hard to score off of. So any offensive run production that they can get that looks a little bit like that is going to make that pitching staff very happy for Karen Weekly.
Meanwhile, back here on field 9, Matt Schumacher, the All-American, Amanda Scarborough, Kyrie Rodriguez leads it off for Duke, who plated 1 on a 2-out RBI single in the top of the first. Rodriguez punches this into left and back to make the over-the-shoulder catch. Paisley Allen one away.
Remember, she was an infielder at Georgia, one of the transfers for this Texas A&M team. A selfless player that Trisha Ford said is willing to play anywhere that this team needs her. That was a beautiful swing by Rodriguez and a well-played ball out in left field. We've seen left fielders in this tournament and opening weekend struggle with balls over in left field, especially off the bat of left-handed hitters, but well played by Paisley.
Layla Lamar right back at Allen. This one not catchable because it is gone. The daughter of head coach Marissa Young, another newcomer from the transfer portal, makes it a 2-0 lead for Duke.
You know that her mom and her head coach is just glowing about this one. Opposite field home run, goes up to get it. First home run of the season for Layla Lamar. She transferred over from Florida. That's her first career home run.
Marissa Young said, you know, it's really hard coaching your daughter in college softball. On the one hand, I don't want to show favoritism. So I'm probably a little harder on her than I should be. On the other hand, what an incredible blessing to watch your daughter, who's, by the way, been with her since she started this program 9 years ago as a little girl, Amanda, watching her mom create what has become a perennial winning program at Duke. Cool moment for Layla Lamar to hit her first collegiate home run here at Clearwater.
Such a cool moment. And her sister, Jolena, is a freshman at UCLA who's also in this tournament. So Marissa Young got to get to be with both of her daughters, one wearing the same colors as her and one wearing an opposing team's color. But how cool that is to be in the same place at the same time.
2 outs and a 2-0 count to Jada Baker.
You can tell Duke already in the second inning making an adjustment against Sydney Lessentine's rise ball. That was a rise ball that Layla Lamar hit out. Good swing, too, by Rodriguez to start this inning, going up and getting it. We're likely to see more drop balls because of it.
And that pop-up will end the inning. But a pair of RBIs driven in this game. Layla Lamar goes oppo for her first collegiate bomb. It's a 2-0 lead for Duke. Shaky camera, how Amanda feels when I'm driving us over to the ballpark every day.
Not wrong. You're not wrong. I only had water spilled on me today because
that wasn't don't throw me under the bus. Fly ball to center and drifting just in front of the track. Out number 1. I guess I did it to myself.
Yeah, you did. You know, there's been a couple of swings to center field, Matt, in this on this field today for A&M in both of their games that have had that warning track power that if they just had a little bit more behind it would have that home run power. One off the bat of Talon Edwards and then that one off the bat of KK Dement. Seeing a lot of solo home runs here on field 9 today.
Speaking of Talon Edwards, one of a pair of Oklahoma State transfers on this A&M roster this year, which replaced so much of its production both at the plate, in the circle, and defensively. After a historic year in year 3 last season of the Trisha Ford era, And Edwards starting at second base. The middle portion of A&M's defense with so much turnover. Sprays this into left field. Burgess there for the second out.
Larry Wheeler off to a really good start. You know, one of the focuses for Marissa Young and this Duke team coming into the season was that she just knew that they needed some more arms in the circle this year. She really wanted to focus on strengthening their bullpen to be a little bit deeper, especially it's so nice to have so many different looks in the postseason when oftentimes you're facing the same team multiple times to give them a different look. Added more depth in the outfield. That was going to be a key for them. Last year they only had one pinch runner, so they feel like they had just more versatility off the bench, more speed, and then just more depth in their bullpen and in the circle for them to give different looks to different teams.
Marissa Young wants to talk about this. 2-0 count to Maddie Sowney, who had an awesome game to start her first Clearwater experience. 3 for 3, homered, 2 singles, and a runner caught stealing in the opening game against Oklahoma State.
Great game at the plate. Marissa Young, who was a pitcher at Michigan, also hit for herself, works with the pitching staff. So 2 head coaches who are the head coach and the pitching coach of their team. Then there's Jayla Wright sitting next to her, also doing some work with this pitching staff. Remember, Jayla was a pitcher with Duke for a few years. Her final year was 2024.
Sowney up the middle. And off the glove of Amina Vega, trying to backhand on the run. Sowney is aboard again.
Should go down as a hit in my mind, but one that I know that Vega would probably want back just to field it cleanly and see if she would have had a potential shot at getting the out at first base. It is going to go down as a hit off the end of the bat too of Sowney, but just hits off the heel of the glove of Vega.
First hit of the game for Texas A&M. And now Paisley Allen in the 8-hole with a chance to continue the second inning.
It's hard to believe that Marissa Young has been a part of this Duke program for so long now. I mean, 2015 was technically her first season because she had to get the program going, and they had their first competitive season where they were able to field a team to compete, I think, 3 years later. So she's been around this Duke program since 2015, starting up the program. 2 ACC titles under her belt as well in 21 and 24.
I was just thinking the same thing. It almost blows your mind to think about the fact that Duke, a program with such rich athletic history across the board, has only had a softball team playing competitively for 9 years. Yet they've already been to the World Series. They've won 71% of their games. It has been a remarkable rise, literally from nothing to national contender.
Yeah, she's uber competitive. You know, she knows both sides of the game because she can think like both a pitcher and a hitter. So just, I feel like when you have that experience as a former player, it's so valuable to bring as a head coach to your team. You can look at the game in a lot of different ways.
Kelsey Mathis in the 9 spot. Tying run at first with 2 outs. How'd you like to see Mathis work this at bat here?
Really patient, especially after the walk in front of her, and have a plan coming up to the plate of the exact pitch that she's looking for and be confident in that plan. It's a good pitcher's pitch that just missed on the outside corner, and that pitch was so important. That 1-1 count, a close pitch like that either gives it the advantage to the pitcher or it gives the advantage to the hitter. Really unique stance, too, that Kelsey Mathis has, where she kind of hovers that front leg. And, man, I'll tell you what, if I did that at practice for so long, my right glute and hip would be screaming at me standing in the box like that for so long with that hovering stride leg.
How about the left hip flexor? Just
That's what I mean.
holding it right there. Have you ever seen that before?
Yeah, I've seen, I think some players from A&M do it actually, and you'll see it across the country a little bit. I wouldn't say it's, super common, but oftentimes it might be a drill that they do at practice that just feels really good. They feel they're most explosive or on time. They just like some rhythm and timing and power things about it, so they end up doing it in a game. The feel of getting their front foot down and feeling the ground force work for them and just, I don't know, feeling all that power in their bottom half load up.
3-ball, 2-strike count. Opportunity to turn the lineup over here for Mathis. Now, you wanted her to be selective. That was the epitome of selectiveness. Duke wanted the strike call instead. Mathis draws a 2-out walk.
I thought that was a little bit up. You could tell Marissa Young wanted that, Wheeler wanted that, but I wasn't surprised that one was called a ball, but you know that they wanted a close one to go on their side in this situation as it turns over the order now for A&M.
And Kennedy Powell comes up looking.
And her first start at Duke last weekend, Mallory Wheeler didn't give up any walks. So now back-to-back walks to 8 and 9 in the order with 2 outs to load the bases.
She was exceptional in her lone appearance of the opening weekend. Went the distance. 5 strikeouts, just the 1 earned run against Buffalo in a victory for Duke. Big step up in competition, though, for the Blue Devils this weekend. This is launched dead center field. Powell is grand. Touch them all. A&M on top.
You do not see a lot of home runs from Kennedy Powell in her career. In fact, wearing an A&M uniform, this is just her 4th home run at A&M. Comes at a perfect time. Oftentimes you'll see her run through the box, slap, go to her drag, but showing off her power here, keeping her feet still and swinging away to give Texas A&M the lead after a 2-out grand slam. And think about this inning, 2 flyouts quickly to start this inning. Then Sowney with the single, and then Allen, Mathis with the walk to load the bases, and a 2-out grand slam to give A&M the lead there. And the first 2 outs of this inning came on 6 pitches. And that's how quickly you can grab the momentum in this game. You're truly just 1 pitch away.
And there's something about this A&M offense, particularly since the start of last season, Amanda, that Tricia Ford just couldn't quite put her finger on it other than to say there's just so much fight in this team. They had at least a dozen comeback victories last year. Race to the bag won by Jayla Stafford. A&M erases a 2-run deficit in the second inning on a grand slam by Kennedy Powell.
A lot of warning track earlier in the day, but this one beyond warning track power for a grand slam from the leadoff hitter to give the Aggies the lead.
Beaches. We welcome you back to Eddie Seymour Softball Complex and take a look at Amanda's keys to the game, brought to you by Shriners Children's.
Yeah, for Duke, it's going to be to start fast and score early. It scored 10 runs in the first inning in their last 2 games coming into this one, which they did also in this one. No chance with her speed to get her at 1 with that, but infield single will go down for Jennings. And then for A&M is to limit the free passes. That was also their key to the game in game 1 against Oklahoma State that they did not execute, ended up losing that game, and even started out this game with a walk that would come around to score in the first inning. Duke scored in both the innings that they've come up to the plate.
And you wonder if we might see the speed of Deanna Jennings test the freshman arm behind the plate. Maddie Sowney, who has been tested a couple of times already in this tournament, threw out a base runner earlier today against Oklahoma State. Jennings with 49 career stolen bases. Had 21 in a single season back in her freshman campaign. Vega launches this to deep right field. It is a no-doubter. We are tied at 4 on the second home run of the game for Duke.
Duke has now scored in all 3 times that they've come up to the plate. A 2-0 hitters count. Vega is looking for something up in the zone, and these Duke hitters are looking for Lessontine's rise ball after the first inning. Second inning they were on it, and now with this one they're on it. She's just not getting it in enough, not getting it up enough, and Vega sings it out of here. This is why, to me, Amina Vega, a senior, is going to be one of the most sought-after draft picks because of the fact that she is a middle infielder that can hit for power and her speed. She was an ACC Defensive Player of the Year 2 seasons ago. She's one of the best players that's going to be draft eligible for the AUSL this season.
Strike 1 to Tyrena Jones.
You know, one person that likes Amina Vega too, and it's because she played second base, is Jenny Dalton-Hill. She's always raved about her calling a lot of the ACC games, the ACC tournament. Jenny Dalton-Hill has gotten to see Amina Vega play a lot, and she's the general manager of the Bandits. 6 teams that there's been 2 expansion teams added to the AUSL. A lot of coverage will be continuing on ESPN this summer. But last season was the first season of the AUSL. And they named 6 locations for all 6 of the teams. And Durham, North Carolina is the location of the Blaze team. And Jayla Wright, who we were talking about earlier, who pitched for Duke, got drafted to the Blaze in the expansion draft. So staying nearby, she's coaching for Duke. She played there and will now get to play for the Blaze this summer as a pitcher on their staff. There she is. Deanna Jennings, another possible player that could get drafted to the AUSL. Just a fantastic senior class. A lot of options.
You would think Jess Oakland would have a chance to play at the next level as well. Former Big Ten Player of the Year. Had to sit out last year because of the midseason transfer. A little bit banged up this offseason at Duke. So this is her debut in a Duke uniform. But a couple of years ago, Amanda drove in, or scored rather, 70 runs, hit 20 homers, which was among the most in the Big Ten that year. Clearwater rich with talent again this year. Oakland in the air to right. Kowalewski drifting towards the line for the second out.
Such a great response back by Duke too. Give up that grand slam, and then you get to start off the inning with your leadoff hitter, Deanna Jennings, who got on with that infield single and her speed. And Coach Marissa Young said about Deanna Jennings, we go as D goes.
Stafford, hard hit, bobbled at short by KK Demet. Looked like she had a beat on it. Might have taken a bad hop. And the inning continues.
It's going to go down as an infield hit, trying to go to that backhand again. We've seen her just struggle a couple of times with backhands moving toward the 5-6 hole. Some tough hops over at shortstop too on these fields at times.
Kyrie Rodriguez.
Big gap in the 5-6 hole with KK Dement playing more up the middle of the field and Powell playing more toward the line. You see that big hole over on the left side that opens up through the 5-6 hole. A lot of these, or all of these teams, you know, have charts and they see spray charts, seeing where a hitter is more likely, which side of the field a hitter is more likely to send it to based off of history. And so they study those and gather them before the game. They have them in the dugout and shift their players to different defensive alignments to have a higher probability of making outs from where she usually hits the ball.
One-two, did she go? No on the appeal up to first. Eddie Hall, Jason Zanny, Andrew Maston, our umpiring crew for this second of 3 games on Field 9 today. That 2-2 is hit well in his center and tracked even better by Kelsey Mathis. Duke has scored in 12 straight innings thanks to this Amina Vega 2-run bomb to right. We are tied at 4 in Clearwater. Now, the field next to us, Nebraska threatening, down 4-1 in the bottom of the 6th with 2 outs against Tennessee.
So the thing about our fields here at Clearwater is that that field is literally like 30 feet away from where we are right now. It is just right next door. We're Field 9, that's Field 8, super close. And then a couple of fields that are about a half-mile away down the road.
That game going on right now over on ESPN2, as you mentioned, right next to us as Tennessee gets out of the inning. We can see a full left field stands. A lot of people enjoying that game with Jordy Fromm on the bump for Nebraska. What does that say about Tennessee? Jumping out to that early lead against the Nebraska team that was really good last year, reloaded again this offseason. Line drive down the line into right field off the bat of Maya Perez. First time aboard this afternoon.
3 hits today for Maya Perez.
Had that 3-run homer earlier today against Oklahoma State. Oh, such a fun player to watch for this A&M team, and somebody that Trisha Ford will lean on this year with all the senior leadership that they lost to graduation after last season.
Yeah, Michaela Work's going to be big in this lineup just to give Maya Perez some protection behind her. And Work hit 4 home runs opening weekend, even had a home run off of Nyjah Kennedy to tie up the game when they played Texas Tech last weekend. It was kind of a wild start to that Texas Tech game because Texas Tech, being the visitors, they hit first. Maya Davis and Mia Williams solo home runs got Texas Tech on the board early, and then A&M hit in the bottom half of the inning. Michaela Work tied up the game with a 2-run home run off of Kennedy.
Former Kansas Jayhawk, former Oklahoma State Cowgirl, now in her final season. Trisha Ford said she lives in the batting cages with her former Oklahoma State, now Texas A&M teammate Talon Edwards. Those two setting the tone for the work offensively for the Aggies this year.
Continuing to work her on that outside corner because she likes to stand so far away from the plate. So Mallory Wheeler, go-to pitch being that curveball. It's the pitch that she goes to the most, is going to move away from a right-handed hitter and see if Work will maybe start to chase that pitch with her. A little bit closer onto the plate now than in her first at-bat, actually, knowing that Wheeler's wanting to pitch her there.
Jammed by Wheeler and caught it short by Jones, first out.
And that's just a great job of setting her up, right? Been working her on the outside corner, and so Work gets a little bit more on the plate, and then Wheeler goes to jam her up and in for the out where she cannot get her hands extended. That's great pitch sequencing to get that out against a power hitter on Work. A lot of potential in the bat, too, of KK Dement, who I just really can't get over as a freshman. Had 64 RBIs and 16 home runs. Led the team in doubles at 18. That's a ton of extra base hits for a freshman playing in the SEC. Like, you're not playing, or you're playing ranked team after ranked team, quality opponent after quality opponent in the SEC. To have those numbers as a freshman is so impressive.
Rolled to short. Jones slings it to second base, and Amina Vega just kept her foot on the bag despite the throw. No opportunity for two. They do get the lead runner, Perez.
The second baseman, Talon Edwards.
And now here is Talon Edwards. Lines this deep into center. Back on it, Jennings. Nice grab in center field to end the inning. Duke keeps it a 4-4 game after 3. We'll talk with their head coach, Marissa Young, on the other side. Children's Clearwater Invitational. Picture perfect afternoon, day 2 of this 4-day, 40-game event featuring a plethora of top 25 teams. And we will talk to the head coach of Duke, Marissa Young, one of the top 25 teams here. Coach, you're not only coaching a top 25 team, you're getting to watch your 2 girls play in this tournament. What's it like for you to be here this weekend? Busy, I'm sure.
It's busy, it's surreal. You know, softball's been our life forever, and it's just great for all of us to be here on this big stage playing in this incredible tournament.
Coach, in a tournament like this where you're playing some teams playing 5-6 games and you have a deeper pitching staff, how do you and your staff go about figuring out who's going to get the ball and start against who?
You know, our pitchers really know that they want to work as a staff. They play off of each other, and every one of them are ready when their number's called. So, you know, they trust us to make the right decisions, and this time of year, it's early. You know, anything can happen on any given day. So they're just ready to execute, and I'm proud of them for that.
Coach, thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
Well, Marissa Young's Duke Blue Devils are going to see a new Texas A&M pitcher, Kate Munnerlin, coming in to relieve Sydney Lessentine here to start the 4th. In a game tied at 4. And Marissa's daughter, Layla Lamar, who's already homered in this game, leads things off here for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, well, out of the next 5 hitters that are coming up, 4 of them are left-handed. So with lefty on lefty matchup, it's a perfect time, especially with the home run hitter leading off in this inning, to give her a different look and try to have this and use this lefty on lefty matchup for the next 5 hitters.
Munnerlyn earlier today against Oklahoma State, 1 inning pitched, a strikeout in a 10-pitch 7th inning that gave A&M a chance to win that game despite trailing by as many as 6 early. Their first game of the tournament. Munnerlyn strikes out the first batter she faces.
Some down and in movement here. This is just a tricky pitch to handle with 2 strikes. Look at that down movement. Layla Lamar was able to handle an up pitch for the home run. That was a rise ball from Lessenty. Munnerlyn, ready for this relief appearance, goes right at her.
Jada Baker scoots that to center, but Talon Edwards there to make a leaping catch. And all smiles after that play at second base.
Yeah, another defender that's in a different defensive position than what she's used to. At Oklahoma State, she was playing third base, but coming here to Texas A&M, they've asked her to play second base. Another selfless transfer player for A&M that now has moved to second. And mind you, she was a Gold Glover at Oklahoma State over at third base. So good defensive skills for Talon Edwards, just now in a different location on the field.
That Gold Glove she earned was the first in program history at Oklahoma State, which is hard to fathom for a team with so much rich, recent history under 11th year head coach Kenny Gajewski.
Well, in looking out at the field right now of the Texas A&M defense, there's only one player in the same defensive spot that they started at every single game last year, and that's Kennedy Powell at third base. Every single other position is different, maybe with the exception of Maya Perez playing at first base. She had played some defense, sometimes going to be the DP, but beyond that, all outfield positions have new faces there. And KK Dement, who's at shortstop, she played second base last year, so she moves over.
Great play at third by Kennedy Powell with the bobble and the spike.
She called it early, too. Freshman catcher has her helmet on. Maybe didn't hear her, didn't get out of the way in quite enough time. Bobbled it. Did it hit off of Sony and back into her glove? Either way, it's out number 3.
You're watching the 2026 Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational. Just down the road from Clearwater Beach, we welcome you back to the Eddie C. Moore Softball Complex. Matt Schumacher, Amanda Scarborough, and A&M head coach Trisha Ford. Coach, you've played a couple of very interesting games so far today.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your team's mindset coming into day one of this tournament where you're playing so many of the top teams in the country.
Yeah, we just got to scrap some things together. I think, you know, in the circle, we got to improve some things. I think they're getting too many barrels on us. So we just got to keep working, right? It's early in the year, so we just got to figure things out. But I think we're doing a heck of a job in the box and keep battling.
Coach, what was your message to the team in between games?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about some things that I felt like, you know, bit us in the butt, and then some things I thought we competed, you know, in other areas. And so it was to take, you know, to this game our at-bats and making sure that we're, you know, making life's hard for pitchers, and then for us in the circle for us to clean some things up.
Coach, appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Well, this part of the order due up for A&M. 7, 8, and 9, beginning with Maddie Sowney, their freshman phenom behind the plate. This is the area of the lineup that's done damage today against Mallory Wheeler. 7, 8, and 9 hitters have all come around to score. Sowney has already singled in this game, had a 3-for-3 day earlier against Oklahoma State.
She's off to a strong offensive start, her first career Clearwater Invitational Tournament.
Wheeler induces a weak ground ball.
You can tell the plan with Wheeler is just to work these right-handed hitters away, away, away with that curveball. At times it will tail a little bit down, and then at times just kind of go in to show them hard in, but really working this outside corner right at the knees, trying to spot that pitch up. Working a changeup every now and then too. It took a little bit off of that one.
Marissa Young called her transfer pitcher a gamer. A lot of experience at Louisiana. A soft-spoken, very kind, jovial person off the diamond. Not in the circle, however.
Sometimes you can just flip that switch, you know. I don't know, a lot of pitchers will talk about just kind of embodying a different persona or a different personality once you step across the lines and enter into that circle just to compete. Just because you're nice and, I don't know, maybe super friendly in one way off the field doesn't mean that you can't be in that circle and just want to win. Want to get everybody out and just mow them down.
Cassidy Curd, potentially the Duke ace this year, getting loose in the pen here in the bottom of the fourth with one down.
And of course, Trisha Ford definitely noticed that before her interview when she was talking to us on the headset. You know, you might think you're just focusing on your team and what your dugout is doing and what your hitters are doing, but the whole other side of that chess match, especially on the coaching side of things, is keeping a constant eye on the other dugout, on the bullpen, seeing what moves they're making, what conversations they're having, trying to see what they're talking about, or what, just kind of trying to think ahead proactively of the next move that they might make. So she knew right away, oh, the lefty, Cassidy Curd's in the bullpen now, and earlier it was Larissa Jaquez. So keeping some arms warm, a deeper pitching staff for Duke this season.
Might be a strikeout. It is for Mallory Wheeler. 2 gone in the fourth.
Back to that outside corner. Righty on righty matchup. That curveball that has some down tail to it gets Paisley Allen guessing in between and unsure if she wanted to swing. That is a great look of that pitch.
2 gone for Kelsey Mathis. Looks at a strike. What were you like in college as far as off the field demeanor versus in the circle?
Off the field, like just super stressed out and high strung about school and hitting and pitching and just trying to handle everything. And nice. I'd like to think I'm pretty nice. And then on the field, super competitive. I mean, I think you have to be that way to have success at this level. You have to want to win, compete against yourself to be better, love to compete against others to win the game.
Got under the glove there of Wheeler. Sidearm sling on a bare hand grab by Tyrena Jones. Wheeler will love that effort from her shortstop. A 1-2-3-4.
And knocked it down a little bit off of her glove, created a slow roller for her to throw on the run and make a bang-bang play at first. Tyrena Jones can do it with her bat and D2.
Between Duke and Texas A&M tied at 4 as we enter the fifth. Duke led 2-zip. A&M grabbed the lead. Blue Devils countered with a 2-run homer to tie the game. They have 2 in this game to A&M's 1. Over on the other field, field 8, ESPN2, Carlin Pickens into the game now for Tennessee, taking on Jordy Fromm's Nebraska Cornhuskers, pitching with a 3-run lead. And a 1-2 count to Fromm. Boy, got her looking with a beautiful pitch. Carlin Pickens now has Tennessee one out away from a victory over Nebraska.
These are the matchups that we love here at this tournament. The pitching matchups, the hitter versus pitcher matchups that you get here with all these star players on every single field. Pickens versus Fromm gets the looking K, paints that outside corner. That was nice. Hopefully we get a chance to see her in the Sunday night game against Florida State. Sunday night doubleheader.
I hope so, Amanda, because you know what? I get it, right? Like, these coaches don't want to overuse their aces opening weekend or second weekend of the regular season, but boy, wouldn't it be fun to see Carlin Pickens, two-time SEC Player of the Year, Pitcher of the Year rather, against a really good Florida State lineup that Lonnie Alameda thinks has the potential to be one of the most dangerous offenses in the country.
Yeah, they're really young, that Florida State team is. 9 impact freshmen on their team. Carlin Pickens, another strikeout to seal the deal as Tennessee gets a big top 10 win against Nebraska.
Carlin Pickens, by the way, did not start that game for Tennessee. Came in relief. And the Vols got some timely hits against Jordy Fromm. Speaking of timely hits, Duke with back-to-back singles to start the 5th. And now the go-ahead run in scoring position here against A&M.
This is kind of how that 3rd inning started, where they scored 2 runs. Deanna Jennings led off that inning. In fact, every time that Jennings has come up to the plate in this game, she's led off.
Now batting the shortstop, Tyrena Jones.
Carlin Pickens, 4 strikeouts in 3 innings. Jordy Fromm, maybe a little bit surprisingly, Amanda, giving up 4 earned runs over 4 2/3 on 7 Tennessee hits. Look, I mean, it's a very talented and deep and veteran-laden Tennessee team that could very easily be in Oklahoma City at the end of the year.
Yeah, a lot of the teams that are in this tournament are going to be national championship contenders, World Series contenders, and Nebraska, Tennessee, for sure 2 of them. Nebraska's played a tough schedule.
This is hit deep by Tyrena Jones. You bet! 3rd home run of the game for the Blue Devils. And they are back on top in the 5th.
You know, Duke only hit 4 home runs the entire opening weekend last weekend in 5 games, and they have used 3 home runs in this game already. Tyrena Jones out in front of that changeup a little bit, but we have seen some big-time shots. That one hitting the Tennessee bus after the bounce off the sidewalk. Tyrena Jones had 2 home runs opening weekend. They love seeing her bat in the 3 spot, seeing her defense at shortstop. Missed last season. Just a big-time ad for Duke to have her.
And now the top 3 in Duke's order are 5 for 7. 5 runs batted in, 6 runs scored against Texas A&M today. Still nobody out. Base is clear for Jess Oakland. Kate Munnerlyn, remember, came in the 4th inning through 9 pitches. Went 1, 2, 3 against the bottom part of the Duke order, struggling with the top half. As Duke searches for its first top 25 win of the season.
Tyrena Jones was at Purdue last year and had to redshirt due to an injury. And at Purdue the year before that, she actually led the team in home runs and had 5 on the year. She already has 3 in the first 2 weekends here.
Munnerlyn's 2-2 count to Oakland.
You really see, though, how these top two hitters for Duke, the two seniors and Jennings and Vega, set the table for their offense, and some big power there with Jones and Oakland and Stafford, 3, 4, and 5 in the lineup to drive them in. Especially Amina Vega. She's been on base all 3 times in this game and has scored 3 runs.
Duke came to the Clearwater tournament with a little bit of something to prove. 4-1 over their opening weekend. Had that blown blemish to Boston University. Again, a good, Amanda, mid-major team, but on paper, it surprised a lot of people, I think. Duke dropping one of those games in their opening weekend, and now 3 opportunities here in Clearwater to play top 25 teams, commanding Texas A&M right now in the 5th.
Yeah, facing a pitcher as Kate Munnerlyn walks Oakland, facing a pitcher in that BU game, Casey Ricard, another one of those senior arms that's just outstanding. You know, probably one of the ones that is a senior pitcher that gets overshadowed because of the big names, but Casey Ricard has had a really successful year at Boston University, and in fact, that day, she pitched 14 innings, had 2 complete games over Power 4 schools. I mean, that's how impressive of a pitcher that she is. Opening weekend to pitch 14 innings in one day. Are you kidding me?
That's impressive. Pinch runner here for Duke. Adeline Matthews is going to run for Jess Oakland. Still nobody out in the top of the 5th for the Blue Devils. Fly ball shallow right side, and Talon Edwards makes the first out of the inning on the 17th pitch of the inning for Kate Munnerlyn.
Now batting the catcher, number 32, Kyrie Rodriguez.
Strike 1 to Kyrie Rodriguez. Middle of a long day here in Clearwater. It feels like the crowd's taking a break here. 0-2 was tipped off the bat of Kyrie Rodriguez, maybe doing some homework. Hey, who's playing next over on field 8, field 3, field 1?
Texting to see where friends are. Hey, you coming over to this field? Am I going to go down to you? Where can I meet you? Maybe they're texting each other.
Maybe.
Maybe they're in a group text.
That is the world we live in now, isn't it? Throw down to second, gets into center field. Oakland, rather Matthews pinch running for Oakland with a stolen bag. Thought about maybe going for 3 and then thought better of it. Another runner in scoring position here for Duke.
And testing that freshman arm. We saw her throw out a runner earlier in the game, but Duke has been pretty aggressive against her. This team had 31 stolen bases last season.
Oh, slow dribbler. Going to be a tough play here, and Sowney makes it. And Matthews moves over to third.
It's a good job by her to get up and out of her squat to be able to make that out. Knew that she was going to be the only option.
That
Swinging
was a cue
line.
ball.
Yep. Right off the end of the bat, spinning like crazy and has that good arm to first base. Got to be careful here with a home run hitter up with Layla Lamar. Her first career home run was back in the second inning. Daughter of Marissa Young, the head coach for Duke.
Fouls off the 1-1. This was back in the second inning. The first of 3 Duke home runs today.
Going up and getting this one on the outside corner. A rise ball didn't get up enough and just got her barrel there. Beautiful swing by Layla Lamar.
Now playing for her mom after spending her freshman season at Florida. Her sister Jolena plays at UCLA, who's also at the Clearwater tournament this weekend. This one charging in from third, no play for Powell. Back-to-back dribblers for Duke. That one scores another run to make it a 4-run game.
Just being able to score in a lot of different ways. And this is 2 times now in this game that a stolen base has set them up for success. That happened back in the first inning whenever Vegas stole second. And there was an RBI that brought her in from Oakland. And the stolen base got Oakland to second base. Ground ball got her to third, and then able to score on just a dribbler off the end of the bat.
How frustrating is that if you're a pitcher?
Excuse me, Matthews scoring as a pinch runner. It's very frustrating. And that's happened, I feel like, to A&M a lot of hits that are hits off the bat that they thought were going to be out, slow rollers like that, an inning that they're just trying to get out of, but it just continues on.
0-1 ripped up the middle. Off the bat of Jada Baker. First to third goes Lamar. Is she there? No. What a throw by Kelsey Mathis to end the inning at third base. But not before Duke could plate 4 more thanks to a 3-run bomb by Tyrena Jones.
Duke has scored in every inning in this game except one, but this is a monster inning, putting up a 4-run spot on the board. A 3-run shot by Tyrena Jones.
The SEC stacked again this year. A couple of their teams in our field this weekend in Clearwater, Oklahoma. The SEC champs, Texas, first time ever as a national champ. Just saw Carlin Pickens take down a top 10 Nebraska team. 2-time SEC Pitcher of the Year returning. And Texas A&M looks to rebound this season after they became the first #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament not to make it out of a regional. Trying to avoid back-to-back losses to start their 2026 Clearwater Invitational. Slow start today for A&M. And again, look, we talked about it both in their first game, Amanda, and earlier in this game. A lot of change this offseason for Trisha Ford. That's a good start to this inning, though. Top of the order, Kennedy Powell, a base hit.
I think what's taken them probably a bit by surprise is just how many runs they're giving up. I think that their offense has stepped up and scored runs. They had scored 8 against Oklahoma State, and I think usually when you're scoring 8 runs, you feel like you have a pretty good shot to win. And then 4 runs scored here was with time left, but it's just the fact that they've given up 17 runs in today's games combined.
Kennedy Powell 2 for 2. The rest of the team 2 for 14. They need some help. Down 4 here in the bottom of the 5th. And you're right. Trisha Ford said that to us before we came back from break and interviewed her a couple of innings ago. The pitching was better last weekend. Hard fought loss to Texas Tech. Very good offense. Gave up 3 runs.
Well, and as the pitching coach, Trisha Ford, takes the pitching stats very personally, works hard with the pitchers, and in the offseason really wanted to make it a priority to work with them on their command. I mean, that was a huge emphasis after last season and the way that it ended.
Kowalewski with the catch. Powell tags. One down and a runner in scoring position.
And put a little bit more pressure on them to throw pitches for a strike or a pinpoint strike with more pressure on them in the bullpen. Just challenge them a little bit more to find ways to get through, to command the ball a little bit more in pressure moments.
Maya Perez yanks it foul.
You can tell it's an early season game, because I feel like if this is an important conference game or in the postseason with first base open and Maya Perez comes up, you're just going to go ahead and probably put her at first base, right? And here's Marissa Young coming out to talk to Wheeler and her catcher Rodriguez about how they want to approach this, just making sure that everybody's on the same page. And I was surprised that she got a pitch that sweet to start this AB with the power that she has. We'll see how after this meeting how they end up going about working her.
Perez 5 for 8 with runners in scoring position this season, 2 for 3 today. And remember, she had that 3-run homer in the loss to Oklahoma State. First game of the day here on Field 9. Takes this to opposite field, tails out of play.
This is the opportunity to play with situations like this, give Wheeler a chance to go up against a hitter like Maya Perez. You're up by 4 runs. It's early in the year. Let her see how she's going to attack a hitter like Maya Perez and try to get her out up by 4 runs.
In the opposite field again, and got Amaya Burgess turned around. Perez hustling for 2 and legs out a double, pushing Kennedy Powell over to third base.
I think the win there and that at bat is just keeping Maya Perez in the ballpark, because this easily, with a little bit more power behind it, she has that opposite field power, could have been a home run. Wind's kind of blowing in a little bit too. And Kennedy Powell just didn't get a great read. As a runner at second base in that situation, you need to read the outfielder to see if she has a good beat on the ball. And it could kind of tell that Burgess just did not have a good read on it. Could have easily gotten a little bit more off of second base and scored on that.
Ansley Gross comes in to pinch run for Maya Perez. By the way, at the end of that replay, you could see Kennedy Powell motioning to the dugout saying, "My bad." With her speed, she could have easily scored had she gotten the right read. Instead, 2 in scoring position and 1 out for Michaela Wark. Wark opposite field, tracking Vega, makes the catch. Powell fakes the tag, and now Gross in a rundown. And she's tagged. Oh, disaster for Texas A&M to end what could have been a prosperous 5th inning with 2 in scoring position and only 1 out.
Yeah, poor base running, and I've seen that a couple of times. Bad decision by Gross. Kennedy Powell faked like she was going to score, but no way she was going to score on that. And then Gross, the pinch runner, you're out.
Over on Field 1, you can catch that live right now on ESPN+. Matt Schumacher, Amanda Scarborough here on Field 9, just down the way. A&M had a chance last half inning, 2 in scoring position, 1 out. Base running blunder ends the inning, and now Aggies trail by 4. They go to a new arm in the circle. It's Grace Sparks replacing Kate Mutterland.
Can't wait to be able to watch games once we're done calling them. One of my favorite things to do. I think my first favorite thing to do is call games, and my second favorite thing to do is watch games. So in a tournament like this, I feel like I'm FOMO. Ooh.
Oh, hot hop from Shattuck, and what a play. Kennedy Powell just not enough to get her, and a good stretch by the new first baseman, Larissa Perez, in for Maya.
That was an absolute blast off the bat. Look at that hop that it took. Kennedy Powell working from the ground up, so she stays down, and then that hop ended up taking her up. I can't even believe she got her glove there to knock it down with the hop that it took. It's a well-struck ball. My goodness. That's the reason they call it the hot corner. That one will make your heart beat a little bit faster, I think, with the way that that bounce took off.
Grace Sparks, third pitcher used in this game for Trisha Ford. Game started with Sydney Lessentine, then they went to Kate Munnerlin. Trying to figure out what's going to stick in the circle today for the Aggies, who already given up way more runs over the first two games of Clearwater than they did all of last weekend.
And Duke, their offense has just been on fire, scoring in 13 of the last 14 innings that they've hit. That's a lot of scoring. That's a lot of confidence offensively. Makes your pitchers feel more settled in.
And doing it against A&M, I think, is a real eye-opener. They didn't have a ranked opponent on their schedule in the opening weekend. A lot of mid-majors. Put up double figures against Bakersfield twice. Backhanded at second by Talon Edwards. And Aaliyah Terrell at third. But this is a whole nother ball game. You're doing this against the top 10 Texas A&M team. Give Duke a lot of confidence if they can hang on here. They have a schedule rich with top 25 talent. They played 22 games against last year's NCAA tournament teams, including 14 top 25 matchups. Caught at second by Edwards. We go to the bottom of the sixth. KK Dement, Talon Edwards, Maddie Sowney will come to the plate for A&M. Champs last year. Florida, of course, has won a handful. They split the national title back in 2014. All eyes will be on the gymnastics world later on tonight on ESPN2. Meanwhile, back here, Field 9 at the Clearwater Invitational. Duke in control. And Mallory Wheeler, Amanda, has danced around some difficult innings, has looked really good at times, though, against an A&M team that offensively can be very dangerous from top to bottom.
And it's 1-2-3 inning for her, able to wiggle out of some jams and get outs when she needs to. By the way, do you know how wide a balance beam is?
I sure don't.
4 inches. Ooh. 4 inches wide, a balance beam. So see them on the balance beam doing all kinds of crazy aerials and flips and all the things. It's just insane to think about. 4 inches wide.
I might have to tune into that during dinner at some point tonight while you inevitably have your iPad and your phone out watching softball.
Well, we can do multi-view on my iPad now on the ESPN app. That's a new thing that I learned about opening weekend in softball. We did not have that before. Only on my Apple TV could I watch 4 games at one time. You couldn't do it on the iPad on the app.
You going to be quad boxing tonight?
Now you can be quad boxing, tri-boxing, dual boxing. I don't quite know how to make the boxes yet, what I want them to be. They're just kind of like the suggested ones, but hopefully I can figure that out.
You could quad box your iPad and then quad box your phone.
Can
and then
you
could
that
have
on the phone too?
Box.
Don't tempt me during softball season, Matt. Don't tempt me. I might go to a quad box right now and try to watch our game and the other games being played here.
Georgia in a good one over on Field 1 right now, taking on UCF. 2 outs here on field 9. This tournament, while it's not the end-all, be-all, right? We know there's a lot of softball after it. It still, Amanda, has so much meaning. And part of that is, for the first time, usually in a season, you get a chance to face regional and super regional caliber talent on a big stage, national TV, big crowds. For a lot of these teams, a lot of turnover in the offseason. And so it's really the first time to see your team tested in high leverage moments.
Well, and it just means something to be a part of this tournament. You know, you're on TV. There's that whole element to it that you're going to be in front of bigger crowds and you're used to at the opening weekend, maybe. I mean, A&M had a great crowd, actually set a record with their game against Texas Tech. As Maddie Sowney just continues to be on fire, but over 2,800 fans showed up for their game against Texas Tech, which is an A&M softball record, which you just continue to see all over the sport. Attendance record set, viewership record set, social engagements for all of their social platforms. Just the sport is taking off at every single level, college level, Little League softball, and AU softball, their pro league.
A&M's going to go to a pinch runner here, I believe. No, they're going to pinch hit for Paisley Allen. Grayson Coleman will bat in the 8th spot.
Number 22, Grayson Coleman.
A challenging day for Duke after this, taking on LSU. We'll have that one start at 4 p.m. Eastern. .4:30, I should say. Adjustment to the schedule there. In my mind, I didn't know we start on the half hour. I feel like usually we're at the top of the hour.
It doesn't matter anyway because we're not going anywhere.
We know where we're going to be.
We are going to be right here with all of you at home for the next however many hours.
You know, Matt, these two teams will actually play each other next weekend at the Mary Netter tournament in Palm Springs, too. So both of these teams go from a top-tier tournament here at the Clearwater Invitational to then the Mary Netter tournament, which has been around for decades and known as one of the best tournaments in college softball, too, just on the whole other side of the country in California. Be a little Duke A&M rematch.
3-1 count to Coleman, and she draws a walk to extend the inning for the 9-hitter, Kelsey Mathis.
So Kelsey Mathis has really earned this start today. We had seen Frankie Rosel in center field hitting the 9-hole for A&M, but Kelsey Mathis is actually going to get pinch hit 4, but done a great job in center field. I'm sure that we'll see her after this pinch hit opportunity for Dee Dee Baldwin to come in. We'll see her back in center field. Had that outfield assist, showing off her arm.
Paisley Allen re-enters the game at first base after Grayson Coleman pinch hit and drew a walk in her place. Again, a big opportunity here. Remember, in the 6th, A&M had a pair of runners on in scoring position and 1 out, unable to score. Again, 2 runners on, this time with 2 outs. And Duke is going to make a pitching change. Larissa Yaquez, transfer from Incarnate Word, will try to get the final out of the 6th inning here with 2 on.
Entering the game and pitching for
Yeah,
Duke,
Texas native.
Larissa Jaquez.
Had a really successful career at Incarnate Word. We're transferring over here. Just over a 2 ERA whenever she was at Incarnate Word, and opponents hit just over 200 off of her. She pitched 270 innings there, by the way. A lot of experience, but a good mix of rise, curve, and screwball. Her best swing and miss pitch is going to be her rise, and works her changeup and counts enough to get you thinking about it, enough to that you can't just sit on one speed. So that changeup she will work in just enough to keep it in the back of your head.
120 games over her 2 seasons that Hawk has. 2.01 ERA, was an all-conference selection. And now Haley Golden is in to run at second base.
At this point, Coach Ford is just making sure that we're alive up here.
Empty
in the booth.
the tank here in the 6th inning.
Making pinch hitting, pinch runners, and who knows what's going to happen on defense. We had some defensive changes when they were out on defense.
I can't wait to X out half the names on my score
Oh,
chart.
is that going to feel good? Like a checklist?
Yeah,
Checking it all
something
off?
like that.
You know, bringing in Dee Dee Baldwin, knowing that you need a potential home run here, a bigger power hitter here than what Kelsey Mathis is maybe going to bring. They also pinch hit her in the Texas Tech game when they were down by a run late in the game, knowing that she has that home run potential. And of course, Kennedy Powell hit a grand slam earlier today, so know that she has some pop in her bat. Not a huge home run hitter, but she has done it in this game against this team.
How are you approaching this at bat then if you're Baldwin, knowing you've got Powell behind you?
I would have been a little bit more aggressive, knowing that I'm a pinch hitter coming to being put in to hit. Even though she is behind you, you're being put in this pinch hit opportunity to show off your power. I want to swing a little bit earlier in the count, be aggressive. Now trying to fight some off with 2 strikes, finding herself in a pitcher's count.
Marquez gets a check swing, appeal, and no go, says Andrew Maston, our third base umpire. Roll to the left side, a tap of the third base bag by Baker. And again, A&M strands a pair. We go to the 7th in a 4-run game.
Duke had hit 4 home runs opening weekend combined, and they have 3 home runs in this game. Layla Lamar hit a solo home run back in the 2nd inning, and then Amina Vega also got in on the home run action. Both of those on pitches up in the zone that they handled well. But then Tyrena Jones said, okay, you guys got the rise ball. Watch me go down and get this one. Drops her barrel to that one. Tyrena Jones, Lamar, Vega, 3 home runs for Duke to give them 8 runs today.
Talked about it, Amanda, a couple of innings ago. This team has just found ways to score. 3 home runs in this game, but we've also seen them play some small ball, using the speed on the base paths, swinging bunts, constant pressure on A&M. In the air to left field. Caught for the first out of the inning.
You know the home run or the tournament chain? There's 3 girls that are just in front of me to the right that were trying to get my attention and catch my eyes, and they wait. Yeah, these 3, they waved at me, and then they were so proud. They all held up their chain to show me, because I think they hear us, you know, talking about it. But those 3, very proud of their chain. So yeah, so here we are, and they're right here. And they looked up and like were really trying to catch my eye, and then as soon as I did, they're like, here's our chain. They showed it up to me. Very proud.
Next is going to be getting Amanda Scarborough a chain.
Yeah, I'll wear it for I should wear it for a 4:30 game.
You should wear it
for the Open.
You should wear it for our E1 8 p.m. Eastern prime time Tennessee and Florida State. What do you think?
I'm okay for the next game. I don't know about that one. But I mean, if you guys want me to, I will.
I'll bring my blue whale heart, and you can hang out next to me with your big chain.
I'm all about branding, and whatever the team needs me to do, I will do. So whatever we want.
Half the people watching this have no idea what we're talking about right now. We've been here for hours.
You still have the stat up?
Hello? Not sure where that camera is. Right there. Hi. In case you're just joining us, Amanda was a panelist at an awesome event a couple of nights ago to kick off Clearwater at the aquarium just down the road. And there was a giant blue whale heart there, which is 14 times the weight of an elephant heart, which shocked me. Elephants are huge.
Yeah. I wonder which one lives longer.
I would think a blue whale. Don't they live forever? I'm not being serious, but they do live for a really long time.
With a heart like that, I mean, makes sense.
Our stat man Sean is on it right now, typing away. Meanwhile, an 1-2 count to Kyrie Rodriguez. This is outside. Blue whales live 80 to 90 years, some of them 100 plus. Rodriguez in the air to right. Boy, some really nice plays in the outfield that half inning for Texas A&M, who is down to its final 3 outs. They'll have the top 3 in their order due up when we return. In attendance, baseball and softball, getting balls signed throughout the course of the day. Very interactive environment here in Clearwater because with the tournament and with the proximity of fields, usually the players are sticking around after the games, hanging out in the crowd amongst the regular folks.
Such great crowds at this event. So much time and effort goes into this event to just make it as special as possible for the players and the fans every year. It just grows in demand, and it is the place to be in the month of February, second weekend of season.
We have a special delivery in the booth right now. More on that in a second. Powell beats out an excellent bunt drop down. And Kennedy Powell is aboard for the 4th consecutive time in this game.
Yeah, Kennedy Powell can do it with her speed, and she can do it with some pop. Well-placed bunt down the line. Angling down that on purpose. I mean, she's had a great day. Both the leadoff hitters on both teams have had a great day.
Amanda was just delivered a chain. And there appears to be a bunch of signatures on one side of the chain. So does that mean that you need to sign the back of that and deliver it to somebody?
I guess so, but this, I guess, is the thing to do. The gal in the middle who originally caught my eyes about the chain just decided to send it up here, but this is a surprise. We knew this was going to be happening, but we didn't know that all the autographs were going to be happening.
Not much room. I mean, you got to go like right there.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room to handle here. And her friends don't even have any autographs. She's the one in the middle who maybe started the trend, so her friends need to get on brand. Okay, so that's a cool part about the chain that we didn't even know was happening, was that you can go around and get autographs, which is a huge part of being a fan here, is that you have access to the players to get autographs on a ball. We've seen like a huge 20-inch softball that you can get autographs on, and the chain. It's pretty heavy, too.
Is it?
Yeah, I think we need one of our own in the booth that this is on borrowed terms.
Yes,
right
it is. In fact, Dana Jackson, who just delivered it to you, is not leaving your side until you give it back to her, because I'm sure she was given explicit instructions to let you see it and then return it.
Love it.
Photo op. Photo op.
Just calling a game, having fun.
Upstairs, ball 3 on Ariel Kowalewski. This is the part of the order you want it to play if you're Texas A&M. Down 4. Final 3 outs. Trying to avoid back-to-back losses to start their 2026 Clearwater campaign. Kowalewski. Shot to center. Back on it. Jennings at the wall. It is gone. And A&M climbing closer still. 2-run game in the 7th.
We talked about it. This A&M team is going to show some fight. If there are outs to be had, Trisha Ford knows that this team is going to fight offensively to get back into it. Beautiful swing by Kowalewski to go down and get that and connect and just be right on. She had just been missing some balls these first 2 games. And A&M had, remember we talked about their warning track power where they had just missed a home run, but 2 in this game. The grand slam by Kennedy Powell and then Ariel Kowalewski, 1 and 2 in their order with 2 home runs. Back-to-back hits for the first time in this game.
Second inning of relief for Larissa Jaquez. Now has to take on Maya Perez. And a strike to one of the more dangerous hitters in this Aggies lineup. Perez has homered once today in an earlier game against Oklahoma State.
Look at her just go right at Maya Perez too. Mixing in that changeup, gave up that home run, no big deal. Let me just go and attack Perez. We've seen pitchers attack her. In fact, I feel like she's been in a lot of 0-2, 1-2 counts today.
Wow, strikeout on 3 pitches. Couple of off speeds from Jaquez to get the first out.
Mixed it in there. Jaquez, after giving up that home run, strikes out the All-American Perez with back-to-back changeups. 3 pitches going right at her. Nice changeup. Uses that pitch just enough.
Catches the outside corner to Michaela Wark.
I have one final update about the chain.
Okay.
The dad made this.
Wow.
Okay, so it's very custom and exclusive. I think that they're the only ones that have it. So just saying this is like not for sale. Their dad made it.
It might be for sale next year.
Right. Yeah, there's the dad wearing the 643. 643 means 2 outs. So cool.
Those might be mass produced for next Clearwater, the 8th next year. 2-1 count from Larissa Jaquez.
A&M just needs another runner to get on board here. And I like the way that Jaquez is just continuing to attack the middle of this lineup. Can't get over how big of an out that was to Maya Perez to strike her out on 3 pitches. Keep her off the base pass every out. Just so important. And every base runner keeping them off of the bases because it's going to get them back into this game.
Wark left side scooped by Baker. Long throw in the stretch by Stafford. Second out of the inning. KK Dement comes to the plate, who last year led the Aggies with 27 2-out runs batted in. Needs to get on base for Talon Edwards, the potential game-tying run on deck. And again, Amanda, Larissa Jaquez going right after these A&M hitters.
I like the energy that she's throwing with here in the 7th inning. Did not let herself get down after a single, followed up by the home run. Just went back into attack mode.
Oh, 2. reaches the inside corner, and Duke has won 5 in a row, picking up their first top 25 win of the season.
Using that full pitching staff, it's a huge deal that they did not have to bring Cassidy Curd into this game. She could be rested and probably going to start the game when they face LSU coming up at 4:30. Deeper pitching staff for this Duke team, scoring 8 runs on 11 hits.
And the Duke offense came to play in their opening game of the 2026 Clearwater Invitational. For Amanda Scarborough, our entire ESPN crew, Matt Schumacher saying we will see you at 4:30 on the Plus here on Field 9.